Hi, hello there. Welcome back to my February challenge. I did the two recordings outside the past 2 days, and I thought one thing about being outside that makes me feel really uncomfortable is the fact that I'm standing. And so I thought, you know what if I record a couple of videos standing and like do something different and see how I feel? So this is another video recording of me, different background, different area where I'm going to stand. So this, I don't know, I kind of feel weird, and I think I don't like standing because I'm moving back and forth. But if you're new here, this is a February challenge that I am doing the entire month of February where I am going into my analytics, my YouTube analytics, and I am picking out the things that people want to hear about and that people are probably looking up. And I'm talking about those things. And so what I will do here is I will go to my trusty iPad and I will click and I will figure out what there is to talk about, and then I'll talk about it. So these videos are unfiltered, unedited, unprepared for. If you've watched any of my content, you will know how weird it is for me to be unprepared. So yeah, so I am doing that here. Also, I just noticed that my mic is green and not blue. Usually it's blue. I don't know which one sounds better. So I just changed the sound. So maybe in the recording, I'll be able to see the sound different. So let's see. So the options I have to talk about, let's see, Texas Longhorns football 2022. I wonder who's searching for that. Interesting. Fantasy football focused podcast, revisiting NFL predictions. Man, if I was doing like this and I could do research, I would love to go back and look at my NFL predictions. That would actually be fun. I might save that and do that in March. The official Jets podcast. That's weird. Current NFL picture. Well, we're already there. Philadelphia Eagles. Or Philadelphia Sports Podcast. High school football recruiting is a good one. If high school football recruiting is there, I might save it and do it. If it's there, I might do it another day. You know what? I can't stop thinking about the Texas Longhorns football 2022. So the Texas Longhorns football in 2022 holds a special place in my heart for a lot of reasons, but mainly because like it was the first year where I thought Texas could potentially be back. Like I thought we could potentially be good. And the reason why I thought that is because yours was coming to Texas, and 2022 we played Alabama at DKR. So we played Alabama at home that year. And I remember the previous year we had gone 5-7. And then I remember at some point people started saying like Texas might be able to get Arch Manning. Texas might be able to do all this stuff. And then Texas like I think if I'm remembering this correctly, I think Texas's recruiting class was like pretty decent. And so I was like, you know what, if this Sark guy, because I didn't know much about him, I was like, if this Sark guy actually can figure this out, like I think this will be the year where we can be able to tell, right? Because 5-7, I was like, we're either going to be worse than 5-7 or we're going to be better than 5-7. So the season started, and I remember we played Alabama at home, and we lost to Alabama like 20-19. That was Bryce Young's like senior year or whatever. But I remember that we could compete. I remember thinking when we competed with Alabama in 2022, I remember thinking like Texas is on the verge of something great. I didn't know if it was going to like pan out or really make itself happen, but I realized that at that time, like Texas was on the path to being great because we could compete with Alabama. And again, we lost to them by 1 point. There was a couple of questionable calls because you know how the refs like to do in football games. But that loss to Alabama, I thought, okay, if Texas as a team and as a program can see that they can compete with Alabama, what is that going to mean for us? And so we went through 2000. Oh, and then like Quinn Ewers got hurt. So Quinn Ewers was like our shiny new recruit coming to Austin to play for the Longhorns. And then he got hurt in the Alabama game. And so then I started to think, well, the one thing I remember about the Texas Alabama game is like in the trenches, we looked okay. And that was my biggest concern. And so I was like, yeah, we're playing like without our like quarterback, the guy, but like, I think we might be okay. And so then I just like remember the season going, and we did okay. I mean, we finished the season 8-4. Like we weren't spectacular, but I saw the growth. I saw the development. We lost to good teams. Honestly, we lost some games we shouldn't have lost. We won some games that we probably shouldn't have won, but like I saw the progression. I saw the trenches getting better. I saw what the goal was. I saw what the plan was. And so the Texas Longhorn football in 2022, honestly, is what I feel like was the first time where I thought, uh-oh, we might have something here. And I think the other thing is why I always tell people I like the process of building football. I like the process of building a team. I like the process of figuring out what's going to work. I love the process. And then I love like the talent shuffling that has to happen, right? So somebody leaves, if somebody graduates, goes to the NFL or whatever, then you have to like re-recruit and rebuild. So I like the building and the process. And so I got to see that at Texas. And so it was super cool to remember when we were so bad. I mean, losing to Kansas, losing to, I think there was like a West Virginia game. I can't remember, but it was just like, it was a rough like 10, 12 years, it felt like. And so it was like actually seeing us get better and actually being able to see good things in football was cool. So that, I feel like the Texas Longhorn football 2022 year was legendary in the sense of we didn't realize what that was benchmarking for us. Like we didn't realize what 2022 actually was. And the funny thing about 2022 is then at the end of 2022, is that when Arch Manning decided to come to Texas? And so it was like we were 8-4. We were 8-4, whatever. But then it was like that off season between 2022 and 2023. Yeah, I think, wow, that's actually crazy thinking about it. So yeah, so the 2022 season happened, right? And so we go from 5-7, then we go to 8-4. And 8-4, like I said, we weren't a great football team, but like our trenches could compete. And the other thing I remember thinking is like, we're also really young because we had like freshmen and sophomores and all these young guys playing. And so I was like, okay, this is what we are. So we're 8-4, like we're in the Big 12. We can start to get better. We can improve. And then obviously the SEC move, we all knew we were going to move to the SEC and all those stuff. But I was like, we have time to like get better, right? In 2023. So then like Arch Manning commits to the University of Texas. Then it was like that recruiting cycle was tremendous. And I believe it was like top 5 recruiting. And so again, if I could look at my notes, I could tell you exactly where we were, but I believe it was like number 3 recruiting or whatever it was, top 5 recruiting. And so I'm like, okay, Texas, like if the next year being 2023, wait, I think I might be a year ahead of myself. No, because this was 2024. No, I'm right. So then I remember thinking, because it's kind of weird because we're already talking about 2025, but the 2024 happened. So anyway, so I got a little off. But then I started thinking like, if we can go out there and this next season in 2023 be good, then like we're onto something. Like Sark is our guy. We're done well. We've recruited well. Arch Manning is here. Like all of these things, right? And I knew like with the transfer portal coming, I've never been worried about the transfer portal because I knew if Texas wanted players, they would pay them what they needed. And if the players just decided not to be here, then they would go. But I would like to think that Texas doesn't lose players because of money. So again, it's like all of these different things that make like the Texas football program legit. We have all of those things. Now we just have to like put the product on the field and go out and win. And so the 2023 season, obviously we go 11-1, like we look great. We have Arch on the bench. Like my point is that 2022 season really set us up for a lot of great things. And I don't know if we take the time to like go back and reflect on 2022. And honestly, now that I'm here talking, maybe actually 2021 set us up for some great things. Because in 2021, we were 5-7. So it was Sark's first year. We weren't very good. Our culture was kind of whatever. But then when you go from 5-7 to 8-4, it was like that flip tapping where people were like, okay, Texas might be back. It might be safe to be able to commit there. It might be a good place to go. Sark has this thing moving. NIL's coming. The collectives, we're able to play payers legally and all that stuff. And so I honestly, now that I'm like thinking through this, I actually think that I might credit 2022 for being the reason why Texas is where they're at today. And Texas being where they're at today is huge. Obviously, Arch Manning is our starting quarterback. We just went to back-to-back semifinals. We have a great stadium. We have great fans. We have all of these great things. And Texas football right now is hot. So no matter if you don't like us, if you love us or whatever, like Texas football right now is hot. And it's interesting because if you've been a Texas fan for as long as I have, you've been through the ups, you've been through the downs, you've been through the weird things where you thought you were good and then you weren't and then you were. And so now we're at this weird spot where it's like, I feel like our fandom is like half of us want to believe like we're good, we're back, we're good. And then the other half of us is like, are we good though? Are we good? What do we think? What do we think? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, what do we feel? What do we feel? And so it's like this weird thing that's happening because, I don't think anybody really knows what to think. So anyways, this is like me rambling about the Texas Longhorn football 2022 season that I didn't realize until I started talking how many things started to happen after that 2022 season. And I would be willing to say that I think that Alabama game, I believe it was 20-19. I hope I got that right. I will probably always feel like the 2022 Alabama versus Texas game where we lost by 1 point on a field goal to Bryce Young and Will Anderson, like that's the team we lost to. I will always say I think that team showed people that Texas is back and Texas is ready to compete and Texas is figuring something out. I could be wrong, but I really believe that. So anyways, that is my Texas. Let me make sure I'm quoting it right because I want to make sure I get all the lingo right. But I am just surprised that I've never really thought about like going down memory lane with that. So I don't know. It popped up first. So Texas Longhorn football 2022. So for those of you that might be new here, that it might be new Texas fans or just started watching Texas or doesn't understand like where Texas went through, if you just go check any history of the Texas Longhorns, you will find that we have been through a lot. But since 2021, we have been on this upward trajectory. And it's just super cool to experience, super cool to witness. And again, we're about to start a new season. Well, we're not about to start a new season. Well, kind of, depending on if you count spring ball a new season, which I do. Once like recruiting is over and then you have to like coaches get a break and then you go into spring ball. I feel like spring ball is the first thing you do to the new season. That's just how I see it, but I could be the only one. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed my little memory lane about the Texas Longhorns. I don't think I said hook 'em, but hook 'em. But yeah, like that was kind of cool just to like talk about that. So I'm glad that I saw that first and was able to talk about it because going back and thinking through Texas and all the things we've been through actually gives me a little bit comfort of where we are now, because sometimes I think we expect to be certain places, but you got to remember where you came from to really appreciate where you're at. And I'm appreciating where Texas is right now. So anyways, I don't know what that even anyways, I will end this video. So if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you subscribe, turn on those notification bells so that you will see all of my episodes. I am trying to do my very best, record one of these a day and release them the next day at 12 o'clock every day. And I'm trying to get outside of my comfort zone. And so I am standing. So this is me standing and outside of my comfort zone. I'm not sure how I think and feel about it, but maybe in my next video, I'll be standing as well, because I'm trying to get better and be able to record like a diverse like slate of content. So anyways, we'll see how this goes, but hook 'em. I'll end this video here.